Hi, you guys. It is Tara just jumping in here really quick to recognize there is a little bit of an echo in today's audio. We are sorry and we are learning, so bear with us as we become these full-fledged podcasters. So enjoy the episode. It's great, and I laughed a bunch.
Hello, friends. Welcome to DNF Diaries, brought to you by Ultra. Every other week, we bring you a wonderfully entertaining, low-stakes, absolutely no shame story of a DNF in the ultra marathon, sub-ultra, FKT, or through hike world. For those that are not familiar with DNF, it stands for Did Nothing Feral. JK, it actually means did not finish. I didn't come up with that one. That was Arlee's. So if you like that, that's all credit goes to Arlee. For those that are wondering how they can send us their DNF stories, we are accepting those, and we'll happily accept all and any. And you can write into us at our email, dnfconfessions@gmail.com, or you can fill out the Google form in the show notes. If you have an interesting story about DNFing a ultramarathon, marathon, foot race, through hike, FKT, please write into us. The more the detail, the better. We will keep all stories and folks anonymous if you choose. We'll also, if you want, we can say your name too, but whatever. We may reach out to you to get more details, so please include an email or phone number so we can reach you and just chat about your DNF. So my name is Tara Dower, and my chosen adventure is, I'm just going to do normal running is my chosen adventure. I like to run in the woods, but out here in Colorado, it looks more like just, canyons, which is awesome. Today I went to Sand Canyon in Colorado. That was awesome to run through. But yeah, I'm a ultra runner.
And I'm Arlee Hiskey, and I also enjoy running. Right now, it looks mostly like running in the freezing cold in any variety of conditions. I wouldn't say it's my favorite way to run, but it's what we've got right now, so we're making it work. Tara, would you like to share a story about a run that you've gone on recently, or any other updates that you got for the people out there?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Thanks for asking. So yesterday it snowed the night before, and my friend JP Giblin is visiting me, and me and my friend Robin and him went to this country road system, 136 outside of Durango. And we're like, oh, this is going to be great because we're not going to wreck our trails. It's just a road, but it's a muddy road because it was wet. And for the first half, so it was 18 miles. So I went out 9 miles, and I just was chilling, having a great time. At one point, these two big wolf dogs found us and were following us. And I literally thought wolves were attacking us, but they were just so sweet. And we named them Shiloh and Caesar. Anyways, their owner picked him up, and then he backed up at 15 miles per hour all the way home, which was weird. Anyways, so we get to the end of we do an outback. It's 9 miles there, 9 miles back. And we start going the 9 back, and I'm like, oh, this is uphill. And JP was like, yeah, we ran downhill the entire time. You didn't I was not aware of that. I was not aware that we were running downhill. And I had a progression work for the last hour of the run. And so the roads were so muddy. Mud was, you know how thick mud is? It gets stuck on your shoes. Your feet weigh 10 pounds. And we're running uphill, progression, 50K progression to marathon pace. And my legs are so heavy. And we're running uphill the entire time. And that was just really hard. And I got it done. And today I woke up and I was like, I am tired. I'm exhausted. And I fell today on a run, and I usually don't cry, but I just sat there and cried. So I was like, I know I'm really tired from that run. Everyone that's doing that, it just, if it bothers you, I was a little bothered by it in the run. But then I thought after, I was like, that's great practice for when it's peanut butter conditions and it's uphill both ways in a race. Just enjoy that training. Not all runs can be easy or even simple. That was a good training run.
Wow. Look at that mindset. Let's go. Before we get to some ultra news, I'll share my run story of the week. Well, these days, as of yesterday, I'm fully rocking ultras, trails and roads right now.
Wow.
Wore a hot new pair of teal Ultra Olympuses yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Which felt fantastic. 100%. They were so good. So good.
So good.
So yeah, yesterday, to really set the scene, right? I'm in Vermont. Yesterday, the weather was like, the real temperature was like 20 something, but the feels like was like in the single digits because it was like windy. It was like 15-mile-per-hour winds all day. And it was snowing, of course. So my friend Maya and I are going to do this like 15-mile loop up by this like ski place, whatever, in Jeffersonville. And so I get to the parking lot a little before her and she gets there. I was like, Maya, I got a real bad attitude about running right now. I was like, honestly, we could quit. We could not start and that'd be fine. To be honest, I don't want to do this at all. It's terrible out. I hate it here. We live in a hellscape. This place sucks. Maya's like, I hate it. This sucks. I hate it. And then obviously we started anyways. And I was like, cool. And originally we had been like, okay, we're going to do 2 like sections of like some steady state running within this long run. And we started, I was like, what if we didn't? My legs feel like absolute trash. Maybe we just try and run all the uphills because there was like a significant amount of gain in this like dirt road run.
Oh.
And then we were like, I don't know if we can run all the uphills with the wind and with, you know, everything that sucks here. But we didn't quit, and we had a really good time chatting the whole 2.5 hours or so. And it did suck, and it was really windy, and it was cold and snowing. But you know what? We did it. It's supposed to be a lot warmer this coming weekend.
Like 10? Like 10 degrees instead of like 4?
Maya said it's going to be like 60s. So like, I was like online shopping for shorts this morning.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about how warm it's going to be eventually. So like maybe like this weekend, you know, when it's really cold, I was like, okay, I'm going to wear my vest because it's like pretty long, but I have to wear a jacket over it so that the water bottles don't freeze. Because otherwise, why bring water if it's frozen? So maybe this coming weekend, I won't have to worry about anything freezing on my long run.
Okay, so
fingers
like,
crossed.
Here's an idea. You love a good business casual polo to wear during a race, or a Hawaiian shirt. What if you got some, like, you went to the thrift store and got some Bermuda shorts that are like moisture wicking and just complete the entire look?
I love this idea that you have. I'll contemplate it, but I'm probably going to pass.
Wait, okay, so
I like how classy a black short looks with my more flamboyant tops.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to be,
as you know so well, I'm so apt to chafe, and I don't think a Bermuda short fabric is gonna like that very well. Like, my skin is already like, I can't wait to rub together and be raw, which is the worst feeling that's ever happened every single day of my whole running career. So like, I think I'm going to stick with athletic fabrics and bag balm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm not going to introduce Bermudas into the mix.
Okay. But like, think about all the stuff you could put in the pockets.
That's why I'm trying to get some of these pocket shorts.
I guess you're right. Okay. Whatever. You know,
Intra's doing some good work with the pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Janji's on the pocket game.
Deep pockets.
Yeah. I want to fit a flask in those pockets.
I was going to say like a small puppy, but it seemed too big. And I think a guinea pig is the right size.
Let me get a Jersey Mike's in there. Turkey and provolone. Yeah.
Would it be in the front
I want
or the back?
Juice and the spices. It's going to be in that side pocket. Right on my rag. I'm going to eat that baby later and then throw up afterwards.
cheese wasn't salty enough. It didn't stay. Old cheese. Oh,
oh my
okay.
gosh. Speaking of throwing up, I do have a funny story related to that. That does not include current vomiting.
Oh.
So I had surgery in December, right? And before surgery, they prescribed me all these anti-nausea meds from like the anesthesia wearing off.
Yes.
And I never was nauseous. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to stockpile these for my next big effort when I inevitably am nauseous, and I'm going to like dose up, baby.
Heck yeah.
And a couple weekends ago, I was in North Carolina. I saw my sister, and she was like, Arlee, I'd really like you to mail me some of those anti-nausea meds. I could use them.
What?
And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I forgot about it. And then she texted me the other day and said, so are you going to mail me the meds?
Did you mail them?
But like, well, I haven't done anything yet. But like, I'm saving them.
Well,
for running.
I think your sister needs to know that. I mean, how many are there?
I got like 6 boxes of them.
Let's say you use 2 per race.
I know. I'll probably mail her some.
Yeah, I feel like 1 box, whatever box is.
Yeah,
I feel like
1.
5 boxes could last you like a year of ultra running, maybe. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share some ultra news that we got now.
Yes.
Before we get too deep into storytelling. So all this news comes straight from the Ultra Minute, who does an incredible job of keeping track of results and big records and whatnot that get slayed throughout the weeks here in the ultra running world. First up, we're going to talk real quickly about the Way Too Cool 50K, which seems like it was a real banger of a race. Jennifer Schmidt won after she surpassed Emily Clark late in the race.
Wow.
Sounds like she ran a very cool, calm, and controlled race. Hans Troyer did the exact same on the men's side. It seemed like he ran a very controlled and composed race and then came in for the win. So congrats to both Jennifer and Hans on those Way Too Cool 50K wins. What a great race name.
Hans is a ultra athlete. Did you know that?
Oh,
he's a new ultra athlete. His saying is young and fit, and we're here for it.
Oh, heck yeah, Hans. That is a great phrase. Back in the day, my friend Jillian and I, who, we used to say young, wild, and free and fit when we would go out for runs.
Wow. Yeah.
Back in our early 20s. It remains true today. Young, wild, free, and fit. Remind myself of that when I try and run after this episode. Next up that we're going to touch on, we've got Deanna Joanne. Apologies if I mispronounced her last name. She broke the Florida Trail FKT in an astounding manner. She took 2 days off the previous record, and it is currently 19 days, 12 hours, and 13 minutes, all thanks to Deanna's hard work. What an absolute freaking rock star right there. She's done some work up in New England and New Hampshire, setting records and whatnot. Yeah, total crusher.
Wow.
Speaking of, Katie Scheid, absolute crusher, dominated French cross-country championships, proving that she can knock them down at all distances. Let's see. Our last 2 little bullets of ultra news. Riley Brady teased a shoe sponsorship on Instagram. Yeah. Can't wait to see what comes of that teaser. These last 2 bullets are not from the Ultra Minute. They're just from other things that I've been keeping tabs on.
We're big Riley fans here.
Huge Riley fans.
Yeah. We should just name it Riley Brady Podcast.
Maybe they'll quit something one day and we can have him as a guest.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so, selfishly.
Yeah. Right. Same. And finally, we've got Abby Hall. She is racing Chianti. I think I said that correctly. Chianti. Not sure. To shoot for another golden ticket. So I can't wait to see her throw down there. I'm a total Abby Hall fan. I think she's absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
So that's our ultra news. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say again, I'm excited to hear who Riley has partnered up with. Riley deserves everything and back pay because Riley has been doing the work, and I think everyone's astounded, but I'm so excited that they're finally getting their proper dues. I hear they are they had the photo shoot. There's a big photo shoot that happened. There is I heard an insider say that there is like a fitting of like, going to a location, getting a like kit fit and just, getting treated like how they deserve to get treated after all this hard work. And also, I just want to shout out David Roach too, because he's been putting out, along with Cody Bear, he's been putting out some pretty cool content on his YouTube channel of him just crushing runs. And it makes me really excited for Western States this year because so many, it's always fast, but like it's even faster because we've already talked about how everyone's getting faster. Everything's getting faster. And everyone's pushing each other. And I think this year's going to be a big pusher of a race. I also, I wanted to ask you something, but before that, I was thinking in the shower because I had that tough run, and I was thinking in the shower, I was like, we should have an Instagram page. I know that's a lot of work, but how do you feel about an Instagram page?
That's a good idea.
Because I feel like we could post photos of the people's DNFs.
Yeah.
If they wanted it.
Yeah. And it wouldn't just be shared through either of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
They would
probably do that.
Yeah. If you like that idea, people.
And they can DM the Instagram page.
Yes. Yes. I like
which is like a lot more streamlined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you like that idea, folks, please let us know somehow. I don't know. Just figure out a way to tell us how much you like that idea, and maybe I'll get motivated one day to make it. I wanted to ask you, I know we're like a little over on our banter. We love banter, but like I wanted to know if you had any fun story about the youths lately.
Oh gosh, the youth.
I talked to somebody the other day and they were talking about the podcast, and they're like, I love that Arlee is a school counselor because I'm a teacher. I actually forget who I was talking to about that, but it was really cool that somebody connected with your fun and silly stories.
I've got a couple. I'll share two stories, or maybe three, actually, if that's all right. They're all pretty quick. One is a quote from a fifth grader to another fifth grader. One kid was sniffling, sucking snot back up into his nose as opposed to blowing his nose with a tissue, because why would you do that? And this other kid turns to him and says, if you keep sucking it back in, you're going to get strep throat. That's how it happens. Which is like not based in science at all. But it was hilarious.
I like to think his parents like were sick of him just sniffing it all down. And he was, and they're like, listen, you're going to grow a third leg, or like, get boils all over your face. Nope, you got to blow your nose.
Yeah. And then my other two stories both come from, we had a spirit week a couple weeks ago before our February vacation. And one day was like favorite sports team day or whatever. And in case any of our listeners don't constantly follow Tara and I's Instagram stories, once upon a time in like, I don't know, December maybe, Tara mailed me a package that I had no idea. She was just like, what's your address? And I was like, it's this, not public information. It's this, whatever. I was like, oh, I wonder what she's mailing. Probably like stuff she's trying to get rid of. That's what happened last time. And then I get this package in the mail, and it's these t-shirts that Tara had made that have this iconic photo of me like deep into a race looking absolutely horrific. And on the back, it just says stay hard. And so on favorite sports team day, I wore this shirt to school because I am my favorite sports team. And it took like a while before any of the kids commented on it. And eventually this one sixth grader, I was like in their English class trying to find a kid or whatever. And this one kid, he goes, is that you on that shirt? I said, yeah, I've been waiting for someone to do that. He said, it looks like you're crying. I was like, I was crying a lot. It was bad. And then the next day of Spirit Week, there was a staff versus sixth grade basketball game.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, all day the sixth graders were like, we're gonna cook you guys. We're gonna cook you. And then we won by 30 points. They're absolutely dominated.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like
awesome.
The height at that point is, the factor. I don't know much about basketball, but I feel like that's important.
Teamwork, passing.
Adult knowledge.
Yeah. But it was great. It was great. Those are my kids' stories for right now.
Oh, so happy. I hope you guys enjoy those as much as I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should we get into it?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this one. I think it's going to be great.
So, I'm really excited to tell it. So I'll be telling the story this week. And this week, our DNF story is brought to us by our favorite boy, Brandon, who has a special commitment to the Ouray 50 and 100-mile races. And I'm going to share Brandon's story of DNFing the Ouray 100 in 2024. It is noteworthy that this was his fourth Ouray DNF between the 50 and 100-mile distances. And his commitment to completing a Ouray race is admirable, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is Brandon? You must be wondering. You must be wondering, who is this guy that's obsessed with Ouray?
Yeah.
When, let me fill you in right now. In 2021, Brandon, he found ultra running. It was a difficult time in his life, and he found joy in running far and exploring his potential. I'd like to note that this is a classic story. Life is less than ideal, so to cope, we turn to running super far and probably in crappy conditions at times because it seems to make everything better.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, I'm so glad you followed the path that so many of us have. Great work.
The path of our ancestors.
Yeah. Ann Transon. Shout out. So after finding ultra running and it becoming an absolute passion for him, he quickly moved to Colorado after he completed the Pikes Peak 50K.
Okay.
He had a huge desire to be closer to the mountains and find more trail runners. At the time, he was living in upstate New York, and it just wasn't cutting it for him.
Oh, really?
So according to Brandon, moving to Colorado was the best decision he ever made.
Wow.
So, Tara, as someone who has participated in the East Coast to Colorado pipeline, what do you think of Brandon's choice?
It's interesting because I guess he was close to the Adirondacks, right? The Daddy Dags?
Maybe. Upstate New York is like a pretty expansive geographical area.
He could have lived like near Niagara Falls or something too.
Yeah, I'd love to go there.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's really just okay. I was a little alarmed by the Myrtle Beach-like stores all over the place. Like very touristy.
Oh, in Niagara Falls?
Yeah. And then I heard a story about how there was an event in, what was it, the 1800s, 1900s, where they wanted people to come visit Niagara Falls. So they said, we're going to get a pirate ship and we're going to put a bunch of animals on it. Buffalo, bear, animals, just deer.
No way.
And they sent it down the falls. And I got upset and I said, okay, I'm leaving. I'm angry. I'm upset now. It's a story. It's a real story. It's insane. It's so sad.
That's insane.
Anyways, back to the pipeline. I think, I was thinking this today. I was like, if I lived in the mountains of Virginia or North Carolina, wherever I was, I think it would have been a lot better. But moving to Colorado is a great choice. Like Brandon said, because a lot of people here, like I haven't run alone. I don't have to run alone ever. When I was in Virginia Beach, I think there's a large road running community, but not a large trail running community. So I wonder how different it is if I lived in the mountains and then, maybe experienced a community there. But Colorado is pretty great because there's a lot of like-minded people who love trail running and, they're crushing it. So
it seems like you approve of Brandon's East Coast to Colorado pipeline and his participation in that.
Especially if he was from near Niagara Falls, especially. Yes.
So before moving to Colorado in the year 2022, Brandon watched a YouTube documentary about the Ouray 100. He was captivated, to say the least. We all love a YouTube running movie.
Yes.
Those things are all caps powerful in the inspiring category. I don't know. Anytime I watch a YouTube running movie, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to get after it. Let's freaking go. And he had a similar experience. Watching this documentary changed the course of his life. It brought him an obsession. Brandon said he immediately signed up for the race after watching this documentary with a hold my beer kind of energy. So he signs up for this big race. with a hold my beer kind of energy. He moves to Colorado. His life is changing. It's never going to be the same ever again. Some stats for the race, the Ouray 100 and the 50 miler. We'll start with the 100 miler stats. There is approximately 41,862 feet of vertical gain. The average elevation is over 10,000 feet, and it tops out at 13,365 feet. The cutoff is 52 hours, which is a super freaking long time.
That's so
super
much
freaking
time.
long. That's 2.5 days, almost 2.5 days. The 50 miler has 23,582 feet of gain, which is like a lot of gain for a 100 miler.
So
like,
it's the same amount of gain for Run Rabbit. That's insane.
Okay, in the 50 miler. And the high
Wow.
point in the 50 miler is just over 12,000 feet.
Oh,
So some the race course traverses trails and peaks in the area of the San Juan Mountains surrounding the town of Ouray. If you tuned into an episode before this one with Howie, you heard about it then as well.
mm-hmm.
But it's needless to say, this race is intense and it's hardcore and it's nothing shy of as hard as it gets. And Brandon, he's ready. So a couple more things about the race before we really get into his stories. So unsurprisingly, as I feel after hearing the stats of this race and a little bit about Brandon, his personal mantra is do hard things.
Okay.
And the Ouray 100 is hard. So most of what I personally know about the Ouray 100 is Howie's story from episode 4 and Brandon's story. Both of those are about DNFing. So I'm curious what the DNF percentage is for this insanely challenging race. Does anybody finish? I don't know. All right, we're moving on. Brandon, he's settling into light. Oh, go ahead.
Wait, I'm really interested in this stat. If it is like,
Me too.
what do you think? If you could guess,
what's the finishing?
I mean, so
I
far
think-
from the people we know, like I know Sarah's done it and won it. Like, so that's 2 out of 3 people who've DNF'd it that I personally know. So
we've got what, like a 30% finishing rate?
that's what it sounds like.
Gosh. All right. Well, Brandon settled into life in Colorado Springs in early 2022. He is hitting all of the trails around town with a fire.
So
You could say he's sending it. That's what I would say. As I said before, Brandon has DNF'd Ouray 4 times, both the 50 and the 100 mile distances.
From what? Like, what happened?
Well, chill out. We're going to get there. Okay. All right. We're working on it. All right. He sent us really incredibly detailed accounts of each of his race experiences leading up to this 2024 Ouray 100 DNF. He has learned from each of those experiences about fatigue, training, and nutrition, and the roles that all of those play in a person's race experience, successes and failures.
Glad he's learning
And
something.
Yeah. And all of those experiences and learnings culminated in his 2024 100-mile attempt, where he was able to put more of the puzzle pieces together.
So good.
And so now that I've kind of like set the scene for how Brandon got to the start line of 2024, or at least to like, the idea of it and whatnot, who he kind of is, what this race is about, let's #get into it. So, Tara, what are your thoughts so far about Brandon?
Brandon seems like he is committed to experiencing the culture of races and, really getting into he's not out there to just like win or finish. He's there to like learn and grow. I think he's got a real growth mindset. And it seems like he's committed to the race too. I haven't even gone to a race. I think I did Black Canyon 3 times, and that's probably the most times I've ever run a race. And that felt good. And it felt like, okay, this is a little much. He is going back, you said for the fifth time?
4th time.
4th.
Well, 2 100s and 2 50s.
Okay. So he's going back to
yeah.
Ouray for, he's doing the 100. So he's
doing the 100.
okay. Yeah. I mean, going back that much is commitment.
He's committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what
obsessed with
happens.
Yeah. So we're here. Ouray 100 2024. Let's freaking go. Brandon's second attempt at the 100-miler. And so I guess I should explain, when I said he's DNF'd Ouray 4 times, it's including this 2024 DNF. So 3 times prior to this 2024 attempt. In the days leading up to the race, his crew falls apart.
Oh, no.
Luckily, his brother-in-law, Troy, was able to fly out and to both crew and pace.
Oh,
if I was Brandon, I would have been freaking out. But he handled it.
What happened?
He has a growth mindset.
Yes.
Unclear. Not sure. But the crew fell apart. But Troy was able to save the day.
I'm so happy his brother-in-law came out.
Brother-in-law.
Oh,
yeah. Big
great.
shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, MVP.
Pacing too.
So, yeah. The race starts. The gun goes off. The race starts. Our boy starts off with good eating habits. He's trying not to make the same mistakes as before. He's learned. He's a smart cookie. There was a little miscalculation, and Brandon did not have his drop bag at the Richmond aid station like he thought he would. But he rolled with the punches. He munched on aid station food until he reached the Ironton aid station. Once again, totally a cool cucumber.
Yeah.
This dude, he is primed for success.
So we heard in Howie's story that back when he did it, they had like a couple packets of ramen and some chippies and a brownie. I'm guessing the aid station food now is much better if he's sitting there munching.
Seems like it.
Okay, good.
Brandon had nothing negative to say about the aid stations at all. So seems like they've really learned from Howie's experiences. He must have given them feedback. So now he's at Ironton, right? Mm-hmm. And Brandon, he's got a little bit of a headache, but otherwise he's feeling great. He attributes the headache to no caffeine and a tight hat, to which I say, loosen that hat, brother. After this aid station is the section that cooked Brandon the year before. So he's strategic this year, right? He's learned. He's working super hard to avoid previously made mistakes. He brings an ice bandana.
Oh,
clutch move.
Good.
Freaking pro, right?
Yeah.
He's probably watched YouTube videos. He's watched live feeds. He's seen those ice bandanas get put on the pros, as we all have.
Just shaken back there.
So he took one.
Good.
And it was clutch. The first 4 miles after this section or whatever were so much better this time around, right? He wasn't getting cooked like he had the year before. He was eating and drinking well. He's moving. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So far, so good for our boy Brandon.
Yeah.
Tara?
Yeah.
How would you be feeling right now if you were Brandon? If you were in his shoes?
I would feel like I'm going to win this race. I'm going to beat everyone here. I'm going to be looking around at the competition, looking at all the mistakes they're making and thinking in my head, I feel great. I just munched on the best aid station food there is because I love the aid stations. And I have an ice bandana. I've done this race I've tried to do this race so many times. I know what's up. So I'd be a little cocky at this point, personally.
All right. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. So the Ouray course has a lot of like out and backs and like loops that you do multiple times. And then you do it like counterclockwise, whatever.
Ugh.
Seems a little confusing. I've never run it. Don't really care to at this point in my career. But so that's just for context and how we kind of talk about the course, and that it does sound a little confusing at times. And you hear the aid station names again and again sometimes. Anyways, so he finishes this looped section of the course that he was on. And Brandon, he's starting to have more of a heavy stomach. He's getting worried about throwing up, which is something that he's struggled with a lot at previous Ouray attempts. So, he's got a little bit of it in his mind, a little worried about throwing up, but, nothing's come up yet. Right. Good. So he starts the second loop of this section with his buddy David. Second loop starts out different, arguably worse. 2 miles in, Brandon throws up.
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyways, finally, David and Brandon make it back to the aid station after more vomiting and some dry heaving, but still with consistent attempts to replenish calories. Let's go.
Yes.
Once again, he is cool as a cucumber. He's not letting some vomiting and dry heaving ruin his day or his mindset of determination.
No.
He is like, you know what? I've thrown up before. I'll throw up again. We're rolling with the punches. We're doing it. This is not going to take me out. So you know what he does? When he gets to the aid station, he takes Dramamine, tries to pull himself together. He does some breathing exercises to lower stress and his heart rate. I wish my students would do that, but we're working on it. Most of them say breathing doesn't help. That's all right.
Debatable.
Research says, Brandon says, whatever. He was so 100% determined to leave the Ironton aid station and not get stuck there. He has seen the memes that all say aid stations are vortexes. Mm-hmm. So he has been warned. He knows. He's learned. He's grown. No matter the stomach situation, he's like, I'm getting out of here, right? GTFO. At around midnight, Brandon leaves the Ironton aid station for the final time with David, and they head up and over Richmond Pass. So big shout out, because he did not get stuck or sucked into the aid station vortex.
Good job.
Brandon persevered, because that's what he is best at, persevering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now is when things start to really decline. He throws up again a quarter mile down the trail, 0.25 miles down the trail. Tells David, just keep on going. They will be reunited 5 hours later.
What? Wait, he told his pacer to keep moving without him?
You know, you asked that question, to which my response is, I think David is perhaps another racer, but...
Oh. It sounds like a pacer.
I'm learning a moment where maybe I should have asked about that detail.
Well, it seems... What was the brother-in-law's name?
Troy.
Okay, so David, I guess, is another.
Troy hasn't come into play yet.
Okay, so David is, I guess, a racer. Okay.
David must be another racer, yeah.
Okay.
But they're buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they just synced up during the race.
Love a good bud.
Yeah.
Race bud.
So, David keeps going. Unbeknownst to Brandon, they will reunite 5 hours later. Brandon continues to vomit. He's alone on this dark section of trail in the middle of the night. Tara, what would you do to cope?
Oh, man. I'm a little mean to myself, and I would be like, you better suck it up. You're throwing up. That means you've wasted time. So you're going to run faster now. So if I trip or if I throw up, I'm like, I start sprinting. I'm like, you did this. You need to make up for that time. It is, it's not healthy. I'm not, I don't have the healthiest relationship with myself, as we can see. But that's okay. Because we said in the beginning, we're here because we're not healthy in the brain. So that's what I would do. I would just start sprinting probably and cussing at myself. Vulgar cusses.
That seems like your choice. Brandon chooses a different way to cope. He plugs in his headphones and listens to an episode of Sally McRae's Choose Strong podcast.
Okay,
he was hoping that this would provide some inspiration, seeing as how Sally is a total boss.
Seems
100%
productive.
Undeniably, she's
choice.
A boss.
Yeah.
After listening for a little while, he thinks he hears something in the distance.
Nice.
But then he keels over out of exhaustion and vomits stomach bile. So not a sign that things are going well.
Oh.
But he continues on. And then things get even worse.
No.
There's a huge crack of thunder, and the sky lights up white with lightning. Once again, per Brandon and Howie's stories, thunder and lightning on an exposed pass seem to also be part of the Ouray experience. I don't know. Maybe we need more.
I listened
to know if this happens to everybody that runs Ouray.
Howie's like, I love to feel the power of the mountains. I'm like, Yeah, I don't want to feel the power in my body when I get struck by this violent natural occurrence.
I don't want to be electrocuted.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah. So the only positive here is that Brandon's cresting the pass and heading downhill.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Towards safety, away from thunder and lightning,
Good.
hopefully.
Good. Oh.
And then it starts hailing. So he puts on a jacket because he's cool as a cucumber, right? He's been here. He knows what he's doing. He puts on a jacket. He's still throwing up. And now there's a little bit of blood in it. And then, to really top it all off, he hits tree line and his earbud falls into the mud and stops working.
Oh, no. No more Sally
I
McRae.
So it seems like nothing is going Brandon's way right now, but he keeps on trucking. Nothing is going to ruin his day. He's problem solving. He's working hard. He is doing it. I didn't get any direct quotes from Brandon about how he reacted when the earbud fell in the mud. But Tara, what would you have said in that moment?
Again, Tara would probably be cussing at Tara. It's always Tara's fault. Why did you do this to us? Why did you drop the earbud in that mud? What are we going to do now? We're probably going to sprint.
Yeah, I would have been cursing and probably crying, frankly.
Oh, yeah.
If I wasn't already, the thunder would have definitely tears, absolutely, immediately. So finally, we've reached 4:30 in the morning. It's been a long night. I know, long night. Those are tough hours. 4:30 in the morning, Brandon makes it to the Richmond aid station where he's reunited with David.
Good.
And, he's had some like serious vomiting issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we've heard about. If you missed that, rewind a little bit. You'll hear it again.
Blood.
The medic was at the next aid station at Weehawken on Camp Bird Road.
Oh.
Where he would pick up Troy, his pacer, and his
Good.
brother-in-law who saved the day by flying out.
Good.
But he would have to get there first. So at 5 a.m., Brandon once again is not sucked into the vortex of an aid station. He gets up and starts shuffling along down the trail, hallucinating, as many are at 4:30 in the morning after the kind of night that Brandon's had. And he successfully makes it to Troy at Weehawken. Todd, who's the medic at that aid station, tells Brandon that if he continues, he's going to end up in the ICU. But he's going to let Brandon make that decision for himself. So Brandon spends 45 minutes at the aid station to regroup, hold down some food, and gain some perspective. And he made a deal with himself that if he throws up again, he'll pull himself from the race.
Oh.
So if he, that's his deal. He said, I'm going to draw that line, but I don't want to quit just yet. So Brandon and Troy don't get sucked into the aid station vortex. They are good at this. One of Brandon's strengths is getting out of that aid station.
Yeah. They
leave 5 minutes ahead of the cutoff. They're moving all right, feeling all right, all things considered, and this section of the course takes runners up to the Alpine Mine Overlook. And I believe it's an out and back, right? So you go up to Alpine Mine Overlook and then you turn around and come back to that same aid station. I believe that's what this section looks like. They reach like a 1 mile to the Overlook sign. There's a sign, and at that sign, Brandon pukes.
No.
Troy nods at him. He cries. They hug. They turn around.
Oh.
Back at the aid station, Brandon pulls himself from the race.
No.
Turns over his spot tracker. Everyone claps for him. Brandon was so unbelievably impressed with himself. He made it 58 miles and climbed 19,836 feet in 26 and a half hours. That's it. That's the end of Brandon's 2024 Ouray 100 story. How do you feel?
Did he say he's going to go back? Is he going to go back?
He is currently signed up for the Ouray 50 in September of 2025.
Okay, good. Brandon, I wish you all the best. That I know how it feels with the throwing up. I feel the pain and how I know the frustration. Blood, I've never had blood coming out my throat, but I can understand throwing up a lot.
Yeah, that's it. Any other thoughts, reactions? I mean, I'll ask our, usual final question. What would you have done differently? But once again, I don't know.
I have some thoughts on
let's hear.
Because I had somewhat similar experience at Hard Rock 100, where it was throw up from the first aid station at every single aid station after that. And then on handies, I was all the time throwing up all the time. And Pacer, Devin, Yanko, super experienced, was like, we're going to sit at the next aid station and we are going to sleep and eat. So you're going to eat something and then you're going to try to sleep. And then we're going to see how you do after that. And honestly, you said like he was getting out of that aid station really quickly, or he was getting out of the aid station and wasn't getting sucked into the vortex. But I wonder what would have happened if he sat at the aid station longer, settled his stomach, maybe stayed in an aid station that's lower. So one that's not like so high up, and stayed down there. So I feel like if he, you never know if you don't try. So if he like sat and he drank like Coke, and maybe if he had a Zofran as well, he could have taken a Zofran and then eaten, to replenish calories, something very light and easy and calorie dense, and then literally laid down and tried to sleep. Because it sounds like everything else is going really well. Like his legs weren't tired. He seemed to be, obviously in Ouray, they're going to be a little tired. But I feel like if he had just sat there for a little longer and didn't get sucked, or if he did get sucked into the vortex, I wonder what could have happened. Though you also said he was battling cutoffs, so that's also a thought.
Yeah, I think that's good advice, or that's a good thought. Like, what would have happened if you had taken a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like he was really trying to do that, gain perspective, trying to keep food down before he left. But I don't know. I'm so impressed with this guy. He like just kept really trying despite having a really horrible night out there.
Yeah.
Then he signed up for the 50.
Yeah. I feel like he has a good chance of doing it because he did, you said 58 miles? He did 58 miles. I feel like he's going to get it. I hope to be at Ouray 50 this year, so I'll be looking out for old Brandon.
I hope you see him.
Yeah, me too.
Give him a big shout out from us over here at DNF Diaries.
Would you have done anything differently, like apart from what I said?
I'm not sure if I would have. I think I probably would have been like feeling really quite distressed. And like trying to like be calm and cool. And yeah, I probably wouldn't have done anything different from what you did, advised or said, and, what he actually did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say that he's completed other races? So I wonder if it's also like an altitude thing.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Interesting. Well, Brandon, we applaud you for, making what was the right decision. And that's a hard thing to do with throwing up, because
good that he made like a choice.
Yeah.
Or that he was like if this happens, I'll call it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see I would love to update, if he could give us an update.
Yeah, of how this year goes.
Yeah.
And we'll report back to all the listeners.
Well, yeah, that was is this our 5th episode?
I believe so. Yeah, this is our 5th episode.
Oh, so good. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so next episode will be mine. Let's see. I think did I tell you I'm going to Spain and Germany? First time.
Really?
Yeah. In like 5 days. So that's so
you
cool.
Didn't tell me that. That's so exciting.
Maybe I will be in Germany when we do our 6th episode.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess that's it for right now. Again, if you guys want to send us your stories, please do. Also, rate us on all the things that you can review and rate the podcast on. Share it with your friends. I feel like we're no longer baby podcasters, so I can't say we are baby podcasters and just excuse us. I feel like we're like toddlers, maybe toddlers.
Toddlers, yeah. Definitely still learning.
Yeah.
But, you know,
we're getting
we're
there.
doing great.
We're starting to walk.
So good at this.
We're walking. We're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, really going.
Yeah.
So please review it and share it with your friends. That would be amazing. Arlee, your Instagram is
a.hisk
and
HISK.
And I am Tara, Tara.Dower, DOWER, and pending Instagram for DNF Diaries. So get excited for that. That is all from us. Arlee, do you have anything?
That's it. Everyone, stay tough out there. And if you're battling the winter, stay tough.
What was Brandon saying?
Oh, hold on. Let me look at it in my notes. Do hard things.
Yeah,
He's
everybody
such an ultra runner.
Do hard things. We will talk to you. Hopefully I'll be talking to you in Germany, Arlee.
Oh my gosh, cool. Can't wait.